I created this kind of monochromatic vampy goth look, and it's really given me the vibe of The Craft actually, if you've seen that movie. Anyway, if you guys want to see how I got this look, then please keep watching. So firstly I started with my Maybelline Eye Studio Colour Tattoo, and this is in the shade Timeless Black, and I'm just using this as a base on the lid. And to do this I'm using the Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush. I did realise that was a little bit big for my lids, so I've just swapped over to a smaller brush. And this doesn't need to be perfect because we're just going to be putting shadows on top. I'm using Naked 2 from the Naked Basics palette as my transition shade today, and this is just going to help all the other eyeshadows blend out over the top. And then I'm just going to swap over to my electric palette and take this eyeshadow here called Slow Burn. This is like a really cool tomato red colour, and I'm just going to start applying that into the crease. And I'm just going to very slowly build that colour up because it is super pigmented. And this is one of those looks that is going to look really messy and really bad before it starts to come together, just for quite a while, just to warn you. So next I'm applying Triple Fudge from the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette, the original palette. And I'm actually just applying that to the lower part of my lid. So basically just applying from that upper lash line area, just keeping the middle free, because we're going to sandwich another colour in there. So moving to the upper part of the lid, I'm actually going to use a shade called Cherry Cordial, and this is also from the Chocolate Bar palette. And I'm just going to apply that and make sure I get it right into the socket as well. And this is like a really nice burgundy shade, so that's why I feel like it's a really good colour to put in that area, because it really helps blend into that brighter red shade. And then I'm just taking some more Slow Burn, and I'm just going to blend all of those shadows together. And to do this I'm using a Real Techniques base shadow brush. I wanted to add some texture and some shimmer to the lid, so I applied this shade called Black Forest Truffle just over the bottom part of the lid, avoiding that upper area because I didn't want any of the shimmers to transfer into the crease area. I wanted to keep that matte. And once I've applied that, I'm just going to wipe away any fallout because we haven't done our face makeup yet. And then as a brow bone highlight, I'm using W.O.S from the Naked Basics palette, and I'm also going to drag that slightly down into the red just to blend it out even more as well. And then I'm moving on to the face. And as this is quite a bold look, I want a full coverage foundation, so I'm just going to use this Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation in 1C0 Shell, and I'm just going to dot that around my face, and then use a beauty blender to blend it all in. Time to cover up those dark circles, and for that I'm using the collection's Lasting Perfection Concealer in Fair, and once again I'm just going to blend this in using a damp beauty blender. I'm going to set that into place using the Mercier Secret Brightening Powder, and then I'm just going to dust away any excess with a Real Techniques Duo Fibre brush. So we're going to leave the face again for a second and come back to the eyes. So I'm just using a Real Techniques Base Shadow brush to apply Slow Burn to the lower lash line. And I'm just going to connect it to that outer corner. And I want to build this up slowly because again it is very pigmented. I'm applying W.O.S around the edges of that red shadow just to make sure that it's really nice and blended out, and this works as a really great eraser shadow, especially for fair skin tones. And then I'm going to take Triple Fudge on an E30 pencil brush by Sigma, and I'm just applying this on my lower lash line up to that inner third or inner corner, and that's where I want to put a highlight, so I just want to keep that free of any of this darker shadow. And then I'm just going to add some eyeliner to my tight line and waterline. And I'm using Urban Decay's Black Velvet liner to do this. but I felt like it took like quite a few passes to get the eyeliner to show up, so it's not necessarily my favourite eyeliner in the world. I think I used to like it a lot more. I feel like mine's dried out a bit or something, but yeah, it took a while to get it to show up. And then to highlight my inner corners, I'm taking Subsolar, which is that very creamy white shade in the Solstice palette from Sleek. And I'm just going to apply that with a fluffy brush and then with a detailer brush. And then I just need to apply a few coats of mascara, and that is the eyes complete. Moving back to the face, I'm just going to contour today using the NYX Blush in Taupe, and to do this I'm using the Real Techniques 301 flat contour brush. And I'm just going to apply this to all the usual areas, including the temples and above the forehead. As you can see, I got a little bit too much on my forehead there, but that's okay. So I'm just going to blend it out with a beauty blender. And then I'm using the Makeup Revolution blush second from the top. It's just a really nice nude blush. And then I'm just applying that highlight from the bottom left onto the high points of my face, so top of the cheekbones, in that C shape, just above the arches of my brows, tip of my nose, bridge of my nose, cupid's bow, and a little bit on my chin, all the usual places. And this is the same highlighter I used in the inner corners of my eyes, and it has just started snowing here, so that's interesting. Just looking out my window now. It's super windy outside as well. I'm lining my lips with OCC's colour pencil in Tard, and I'm also going to fill the outer corners out with this as well. And then over the top of that I'm applying the NYX High Voltage lipstick in Burlesque. And then I'm just going to start blending those two together to create like an ombre style lip. And that is the completed look. Very vampy, gothy, and like I say, like it really reminds me of The Craft. Anyway guys, I hope you liked this look and I shall see you in my next video.